Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and boy oh boy do we have an episode today. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. How do I actually know if someone is safe for me? How do I actually know if that person is safe for me, if they're good for me, okay? So I'm going to give you this very easy framework so you can just measure all your friends, okay? So, number one, how do you feel when you are around them? Now, I know this is something that is very abstract. And so, Gabriel, what do you mean when you say feel? Well, I'm glad you asked me. I want to do this small exercise with you. I want you to imagine, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think about a time when you've been very happy. It's either been a birthday, doing your favorite thing to do, hanging around with your favorite people, a very positive, enjoyable, where you feel relaxed, excited, happy, and joy, right? So now I want you to hold that image. Now I want you to think about in your job, or some area in your life where you're very stressed, right? Or a high stress situation. Could be an argument with your mom and dad. It could be a stressful situation at work. Just it could be anything, right? And so, um, I want you to look at that. How you feel in those? How you feel in a stressful moment? How you feel in a relaxed moment, right? And so the reason that I bring these two examples to you is because, you know, the way your body feels in that moment alerts you to something deeper, right? It'll let you know, yes, I'm in a stressful situation. I don't feel comfortable. Or your body will tell you, yes, I'm in a happy situation. You start smiling, giggling, versus when you're, in a stressful situation, you might not smile. You might, be tense, trying to deal with the situation you have. And so the same thing goes like that when it comes to your friend. How do you feel after you hang out with them? Do you feel more happy? Do you feel more excited? Or do you feel more stressed, or stressful after the encounter? Your body is one of those barometers, kind of like a knob that tells you if it's good or bad, like it's kind of like when you have the tank of gas in your car, you can see it's full, you can see it's empty. Your friends will either make you feel empty or they will make you feel full. So next time, check and see how you feel when you're around them, right? I know some of you are like, oh no, Gabriel, I already have some friends that deplete me. That's already a sign, okay? Number two is, what is their reaction to good news? Many years ago, I had received some good news. I think I had passed some sort of professional test, or I did something right. And when I told this friend, instead of them being excited and happy for me, instead they were. I noticed, and it's not what they said. It's not what they said, mind you. It's how I saw their facial reactions, and even thought they were, quote unquote, excited or happy for me. I noticed their reaction, and their reaction was, I could just feel the energy. They were like, well, first they were surprised that I had even gotten this good news, right? And then they were, instead of happy for me, I found out weeks later that then they started trying to do the same thing that I had done, right? And so, there's a very different expression when someone is genuinely happy for you, because you can feel it. And I'm tired of people saying that you can't feel things. It's real. Energy is real. And so you have to observe them and see, were they genuinely happy? Was that smile real? Was it like a forced smile? So that's something that you always have to consider, okay? Number three. So far is, how do you feel around them? What is their reaction after you give them good news? And number three, I think I already spoke on it a little bit, is, listen, real friends, when it's real friendship, there's no competition. There's not even an air of competition. And this is why. when you are genuinely friends with somebody, their successes feel like your success. Their happiness is your happiness. Why? Because I was going to save this to the end, but I'm going to say it now. Friends are your chosen family. You know, we don't get to pick our family here on earth, but we do get to pick our friends. But we do get to pick our friends. And that's the reality, you know. You know, I want to see you get there because I want to get there too. Let's help each other out to get there. You know, at the top, I heard this is so cliche, but I think it's true. No one's competing at the top. Everyone's working together, you know, and I think that is true. And then number 4, your friends help you grow. You know, I'm at a point in my life where, you know, I don't have, and I can say this, I don't have any room in my life right now for people that do not want to be accountable. You know, people that are reliving the same old trauma, and they know that they're reliving it, you know, and they have it, but yet they don't want to do anything about it. And so, not saying that it's easy, but at least say to me, you know, I have this issue and I'm working on it. Versus, yeah, I know it's there, but I'm leaving it there. You know, I'm like, what are we doing? You know? And so real friends will help you grow. You know, I had a friend, you know, call me the other day. You know, we were talking, and really, you know, I love her a lot because it's like I'm the extrovert. You know, I reach out to her, and we always talk. And, you know, she told me, she said, Gabriel, I'm having a hard time. I'm kind of in between jobs right now, and I'm just really trying my best. And I told her, I said, you know, what's going on? She said, you know, I keep having these interviews, and I hope she doesn't watch this. She's going to be like, Gabriel, you telling my business? But, you know, I told her, she told me, you know, Gabriel, I'm having these interviews, and, you know, I just feel like there's something missing in my interviews, right? And I said, well, let's do a mock interview. I'll be the interviewer. And we did. And, you know, long story short, you know, she got the job, right? She got a job, right? I'm not sure if it was the one that we were necessarily interviewing for, but, you know, at the end of the day is, because I was her friend, I was more than happy to contribute to her, you know, to help her grow. And the only satisfaction that I get is that she was able to move on, you know, and that made me feel good. If you have a friend and they don't feel good about helping you, then they're not really your friend. And I realize this information isn't wide scale, like a lot of people don't know this, but now that you know, what are you going to do about it, you know? And so, you know, I want to end with this, and I want to recap real quick, is, you know, let me start from the beginning. So how do you know if someone is safe for you? How do you feel around them afterwards? You know, do you feel more energized or do you feel more depleted? Number 2, you know, what is their reaction when you give them good news about your life? Number 3, there's no competition in friendship. You're all trying to get there to the top. And number 3 is they will help you to grow. You know, they'll see your weak spots and help you with your weak spot. And that's the reality, my friends. And so I want to conclude with this. I saw a quote, and I think it's so true. It said, if we're not going to the top, then where are we going? And that's the truth. That's the truth. You know, if we're not going to become better, then what are we doing? You know, let's not waste our time. So listen, thank you guys so much for taking the time to really, you know, take a moment to really watch this video. I hope with all my heart that it really helped you. If it really resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Also, I cordially invite you to check out some of my other videos. I share kind of like my personal life, and I share stories like this. So let me know if this helped you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Smash that subscribe, like, comment. Love you guys. Adios.